Hello. Ooh. What's this? Meow. 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 So little Dennis is with us. He's going to help us on this. And what we do is each month I take a look at my top 10 favourite comic book covers from that month. And what it is it's any comics that I've held in my hands for the first time. So it doesn't have to be a new comic, it could be an old one. And this is the previous 5 months. This is January, February, March, April and May. These are my favourite covers so far. And we've got to find a new one for the month of June to add to that list. So I've got my 10 comics here. Yeah, it's going to be quite exciting. But before we do that, what I like to do is I like to have a quick look at a bunch of comics that didn't quite make the top 10. So the first one, this one here, we've got a Batman Arkham Knight issue 0. And this is by Jason Fabok and Emily Lopez. I don't know if you can see it, but the condition of this is not very good. It's not very good condition, but this was only 10p in the at a car boot sale. And when I opened it up, there's actually Harley Quinns in here, look. And it's such a cool looking version of Harley Quinn. It's quite hard when you're looking. I think she's such a cool version of Harley Quinn. It's really cool. But I really like that cover. It's not my normal sort of cover. I thought it was quite cool. But that one didn't make it. Another one that didn't make it, Harley Quinn 37. This one's brilliant. This was from a future comic-box.co.uk mystery box. I thought it was cool. Issue 37 by the artist Amanda Connor. We've got the penguin there. What I like about that is the way I like the way her mallet's like got a curve on it. You can feel like she's really about to smash him over the head. This is quite cool. The next one that didn't make it, Harley Quinn Multiversity. Harley screws up the DCU issue number 4. This is a variant by Megan Hetrix. Now I really like this one. What I like about this one the most is the style of it. I think it's quite cool. I say this a lot, but I always find it interesting seeing the same character from different artists. And the final one that didn't make it is this one, Dark Agnes issue number 1. Now I did a little bit of research into this one, and what happened was there was 2 issues of this. It was supposed to be 5 issues, but they cancelled it after 2 issues because of when everything went into lockdown. Unfortunately, they never finished it. But I thought, I love that cover, and I got issue 1 and 2 in the comic shop as a bundle. I just think, I like the style of that one. Really cool. So I do wonder whether they would ever bring this character back or something. So these ones didn't quite make it. So what we do now is we get into the top 10. So now this is quite an interesting month this was, because what happened was the one that was in first place, I switched it right before doing this video. I switched first and second around. And also there was this one here in 10th position was actually, it started out in 6th position, but it moved right down the list into 10th. Grim Fairy Tales, Myths and Legends, issue number 8, by the artist Ali Garza. And I believe this one here was actually used as the graphic novel cover as well. Again, I just think it's such a cool cover. It's a really sexy character, and I like the style of it again. I also like the colours pink and green. Look at her nails as well, look. This one was in a future Zenescope mystery box as well. So she was in 10th position, but she went right down the list. It was quite weird, because what I do is I put them all on the floor, the top 10, and then when you look at them like that, you sort of move them around. So the next one you can see is an Animal Castle, volume 2. I think this is issue number 1. And this one, I believe this is cover A, by the artist Felix Delip. or Delep. Now I saw this one in the previews catalogue and I fell in love with it, but I wasn't going to buy it, and I went into the comic shop and they randomly had it in one of the boxes, and I thought, oh, I've got to get that. What I like about this one is the emotion in the character, and I have actually got a few Animal Castle comics already because it's all about little animals, and I love comics with animals. So that one's in 9th position, and then in 8th position, I don't know if you can tell what that is, it's a Paprika. It's Sweet Paprika, black, white and pink. It's a one-shot, and this is by the artist Mirka Andolfo. This cover, this one is. Again, I saw this in the previews catalogue as well, and I thought it was cool, but I actually prefer some of the other covers. But what happened was, again, I went into the comic shop and I saw this one. And something I've noticed is this Sweet Paprika has all of the covers are really cool. Look at the style of that, it's cool, it is. And the fun thing about this is, like it says on the cover, it's all black and white with a hint of pink. And also, yeah, it's a bunch of little mini stories. Oh yeah, there's naughtiness in here. Yeah, there's a bunch of like little mini stories. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little stories in there. It's cool. So again, this is a character I think I'd like to get into. 10, 9th, 8th, and in 7th position, this is this is cool, this one. In 7th position, DC versus Vampires, issue number 8, by the artist Nathan Susdi. Now I've got a bunch of this artist's comics already, and I want to collect this. I want to collect this artist's covers because I think they're beautiful. One of my favourite artists. So I went into the comic shop again. They had 3 of these. They had a Harley Quinn one. Actually, let's get the other ones out so you can see them. So what happened was I had to decide between this one, and this one. Now, you would have thought I would have gone with Harley Quinn because she's one of my favourite characters. But for me, this one here is actually the sexiest one. I just think it's cool. Batgirl. She's brilliant, and it's on that hard paper as well. Now there's a couple more of these. There's one of Supergirl, which is probably my favourite one. Like Nathan Susdi, he did a bunch of these for this DC versus Vampires, and I feel like the Supergirl one's my favourite one, but they didn't have that in the comic shop. So the next one we've got. Oh, now this one here is the Taurus, issue number 33, Warlord of Mars. Well, what happened was, this is in 6th position, but it was actually in 4th position, but she moved down the list a little bit. And this is by the artist Fabian Neves and Jay Anasaldo. Now what happened was, I went into the comic shop and he went through the Taurus. I was going through the Taurus like comics, and he pulled them all out of the box and said, "You can have all these for £1 each." And there was like loads of it. There was 19 of them in total. And I was like sort of thinking, what should I get? And I ended up getting all of them. But this is my favourite one because I like the simplicity of it. It's got the sexiness in it, but I always like covers that are simple. That's what I'm thinking. And the next one, this is in 5th position. This is a beautiful one as well, look. Vampirella Versus The Superpowers, issue number 1, by one of my favourite artists, Lesley Leirix. Again, this is another artist that I want to collect all their... Ah, no it's not. Where? Yes it is. Look, little signature. Hey, what I want to do is I want to collect all of these, all the covers. I'm trying to collect covers from artists that I like, because there's multiple ways to do things. You can either collect comics based on the character, but you can also collect comics based on the artist. What I like about this one is the red background. So what happened is, the rest, there was another one as well. I think this one came out quite a while ago. I don't know if I can find it, but issue number 2, they also had issue number 2 in the comic shop, and all the comics are actually like red. So what happened, what I imagine is when you've got all of them together, it's going to look really cool with like a bunch of these comics all with like the red background. Very sexy. But what I'll say is I'm not completely in love with the artwork on the inside though. I'm not sure. It is cool, but it's not my favourite artwork on the inside. And now we're into 4th position. This is another beautiful one. Probably my favourite character is Poison Ivy. And we've got Poison Ivy 13. And this is by the artist Frank Chow. Again, another artist that I want to collect their covers. I think this is brilliant, this one. This is quite a new one as well. But look at the style of it, it's cool. There's a little signature. So we've got like, it's like a sort of a sexy, but like a retro-y feeling to it. It's brilliant. And I like the border as well. That's cool. So we are now into the top 3. Yeah, we're into the top 3. Now this one here, this was in the pound bin. Old Man Logan. So this one started out in 8th position and I actually moved it up the list into 3rd. And this is by the artist Mukesh Singh. So like I said, this one here was in the pound bin. And I just can't believe, look at the emotion in that. And look, she's about to stab him in the back, I think. I mean, that is so sexy and sort of, for me there's like a sort of, it's almost like a sort of a tragic, it's like a bittersweet feeling with that. It's brilliant. And I was so tempted to move this up into like 1st place, because I think it's the emotion I like about this one. But this one here was in 3rd position. Now this is the top 2. And they're both by DC, they're both on card paper. And in 2nd place, she was going to be 1st, Harley Quinn 27. So this is by the artist Sweeney Boo. No, it's not. This is by the artist Jenny Frison. Now, for me, this is again. I like the way they've got Harley Quinn, and they've made her look quite sort of vulnerable. She almost looks sort of fragile, and you feel a bit sorry for her, like. And it's doing that thing with, there was an Imagine FX magazine where they talked about this. I can't remember what it's called, but it's that thing where it looks like everything's made of paper or something. So she was going to be 1st, but right at the last minute I made her 2nd. But what it is with this one is I feel I'm sort of drawn to it. But in 1st place, it's a swimsuit variant. It's Poison Ivy 13, so it's another Poison Ivy 13. And this is by the artist Sweeney Boo. Now what happened was, I got this one on Forbidden Planet, I believe. I ordered this one. But what happened was, when this is one of those covers that the more I look at it, the more I fall in love with it. I just think there's something about her. I love the composition, the way she's inside of the leaves. So it's almost like it's like you're creeping out the leaves or something. Like she's tempting you in. I love her like her bum. I suppose. There's like a nice shapes going on there basically. But look at the look in her eyes. How cool is that? Beautiful big eyes. And I love the style as well. Like I said, for me everything's perfect in that. It's one of those like perfect covers. It's just, and like I said, the more I look at this one, the more I fall in love with it. Sometimes there's these covers you fall in love with, but then as the time goes on, you sort of, you fall out, they're not as amazing, but some of them just get better and better. So that's it, the top 10 for this month. So we had Poison Ivy 13, Harley Quinn 27, Old Man Logan, another Poison Ivy, but look at this, look. The same character, but it's cool, isn't it? Both sexy as well. And then we had this one, DC versus Vampires 8, Vampirella Versus The Superpowers, Dejard Taurus, Sweet Paprika, Animal Castle, and Grim Fairy Tales Myths and Legends. So that's me top 10 comic book covers of the month, and so it's added to the list. So this was January, which was Gun Honey Blood for Blood #1 by Artgerm, and I'll put links in the description for all of these videos so you can see these ones. Horizon Zero Dawn by Leirix, one of my favourite artists. This was for the month of February. March we had 15 Love, issue 2 of 3, and this was by the artist Show Morass. Then we had Justice League 75 by the artist Will Jack, and that was for the month of April. And then for May we had this one, Red Agent, The Human Order issue 6 by Keith Garvey. I love that one. And now we had this one, Poison Ivy 13, the swimsuit variant by Sweeney Boo. Look how cool those covers are. So what I'm going to do is, at the end of the year, hopefully I'll have 12 of these covers, and I'm going to do a video at the end of the year, or at the start of next year, where I'll actually pick my favourite cover from the whole year. It's going to be cool. But please let me know what you think. And also, this one here. Have you ever had a comic that's got cancelled? That would be horrible, wouldn't it? Imagine if you've gotten into a comic and you really want to know what happens at the end, and then they cancel it. That would be horrible. They actually did that with one of these TV shows called 1899 on Netflix. I thought it was brilliant, and they've cancelled it. So you're never going to know what happens. This is a shame. But that's it for this one. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was a look at me top 10 comic book covers for the month of June 2023, and I shall see you later for another one. Oh, no.